Let's talk about some more fun and effective ways you can talk with clients other than email. First of all is personalized Loom videos. So most likely you've heard of Loom. It's just like a browser add-in that you can do a screen record on your computer, but it just makes it super easy. It gives you a really quick link to the video. And as a bookkeeper, I like to just like open up a QuickBooks window and then maybe do like a quick Loom to explain like, oh, this is why expenses looked a little low this month. Next one is voice memos on your phone. Sometimes it's just easier to talk things out rather than write it all out. And oftentimes people are in the habit of listening to voice memos more than voicemails or emails in my experience. And in my phone, it does convert it into text so you can also read. Sometimes if my friend sends me a voice memo, I'll just read it and see what they're talking about, and then I can reply. And then of course we have just regular text messages. So maybe it's your system. Whenever you email your client their books for the month, you just send them a quick text to be like, oh, I just sent you your books, check your email. You can use Google Voice to get a different phone number if you don't want to use your personal phone number also. And number 4, going along with that, depending on your client's personality and your relationship, you can send them fun little gifts or memes over text message. So maybe it's like, this is how I feel when my books are reconciled, and it's like a yay. Just something that's a little fun and kind of creates that bond between you and your client. It's lighthearted. And then honestly, it's kind of fun for them to hear from you rather than just like, get me that ask my accountant report. Or, you know, you're not always asking things. So you're not always just wanting things from them, but you also have that kind of fun relationship. Number 5 is a quick Google form. So maybe there's like 3 questions you always need to ask your client each month. Like maybe one of the questions is, did you have any parties with all your employees this month? Did you hire anyone new? There's things that impact you as a bookkeeper that they might forget to tell you, but if you just send them a quick Google form, then they can get in the habit of replying to that every single month. And I just think that would be like a really slick system. But of course you want to make it as short and painless as possible. Kind of similar to that are reminders in their calendar. So I use my Google Calendar for everything. So like for one of my clients, I need to run payroll by the end of the month, usually like the 29th or so, but I work on payroll before that. So, or I work on like, it's like commission for each person. So I try to do that by the 20th. So I can give my client a calendar reminder to be like, by the 19th, give me all the information I need for this task. And you can also include like links, like here's a folder where you can put this information, I need these invoices. Maybe it's a link to a Loom video that you have sent them, or anything that you guys need to share. Number 7 is an end of the month recap. And I know I started out this video by saying no email. This is the only one that really involves email. But what I liked about this in particular is that you have the same really short format every single month so that they can expect that. So maybe you just have 3 sections. First is, what do I need from you? So then you tell your client, I need you to answer these questions. And then maybe the next section is what we did. So this is how your books are looking this month. This is how close you are to this goal that we already talked about. And then maybe there's a what's next section. So this is my goal for the upcoming month. So you're kind of sensing the theme of have a routine that is really concise. That's kind of like the vibe. So usually they should know what to expect, and it should be pretty quick and painless for the client. If you don't know me, my name is Morgan. My website is FinePoints.biz. Check out my free masterclass. That's how I got my first 3 bookkeeping clients. And leave me a comment down below that's how many emails you think you get every single day. I actually don't get that many. I think I get like 10, but my husband said he gets about like 40 emails a day. I was like, that's insane. All right, number 8 way to communicate with your client is a shared Google folder. So this is really nice because you can organize it however you like. You can have maybe a folder for receipts or invoices or info that they need to send you to create invoices. Maybe there's a folder of their previous profit and loss statements, but it's a really good way to organize like a lot of data and info. Maybe there's like a read me folder or like new or something that tells them this is where I need to start and answer these questions or do take this action. Number 9 is good old snail mail. So I don't know if I love it when like my dentist sends me a postcard of my birthday. That's starting to feel like kind of trite, I guess. But if there is a really big milestone or something exciting that happens in your client's life, maybe they've been in business 10 years, or maybe they had a big income goal, or maybe they had a baby, or just anything that's happening with them, it can be really thoughtful to send like an actual letter in the mail. And number 10 is you can use a QR code and make it link right to your digital scheduling calendar. So if you use something like Calendarly, or however you say that, make it really easy for your client to reach you. And so of course this is going to be on some kind of paper, you know, and so maybe you're sending paper invoices to clients, or maybe that card that you mailed to them has like a little QR code if that's appropriate, as well as on business cards. People will oftentimes have that QR code on their business card. Number 11 is a whole client portal. So there are a lot of different options that you can do for this. And I think there's going to be a lot of different price ranges depending on, you know, how sophisticated of a client portal that you want. These can also be called CMS, client management system, I think. So basically this is like a website or an app that both you and your client can communicate in. And usually there are really good systems to stay organized. So there's folders with documents, there's checklists, there's calendars. So I've heard a lot about Notion, and then I personally use Asana. I actually have a video about how you can use Asana to create kind of like a free client dashboard, one of these client things. You can have like shared to-do lists, you can move around deadlines and stuff like that. So you can look up that video. I'll leave a link below. Let me know in the comments if you have a favorite one that you're using as a bookkeeper. The other ones I've heard of are Slack. I know a lot of workplaces use Slack mainly for communication. That's not really specifically for like bookkeeper tasks, I don't think. There's also Google Sites, which I actually haven't used. I feel like I've used a lot of Google products, but I haven't used Google Sites, so you could check out that one. Number 12 is you host a co-working session with your client. So how you do this is you just turn on a Zoom call, and then you each have your own tasks that you're working on. And then if something comes up as you're working that you need to discuss with your client, then they're right there and you can talk with them. So it's a good way to connect with someone who is maybe far away, but you want to kind of bond with them. You could also call it like a coffee date if you both have your coffee, or like a happy hour if it's like late in the day. So get creative and make it fun. The next two ways to communicate are more group methods. So one is an Instagram close friends account. So if you have a business Instagram account, you can post stories to just close friends. And so maybe that is all of your clients. And then so you can post updates like, this is what's going on with my business this week. It can be personal stuff if you want, like, oh, I moved houses. So, you know, they can kind of have like a behind the scenes look at what you're doing. It can be deadlines like, oh, don't forget to pay your quarterly taxes. It's the date that you need to pay them. And that's just a really good way for clients to get to know you better. Similarly would be a client only Facebook group. And the good thing about Facebook groups is you can kind of interact. It really does feel kind of like a community. So maybe you can make a post like, what are you working on today? And then your clients can reply. Or you can ask a question like, what's the hardest thing that you've come across in your business, like in the bookkeeping realm? Like, what is hard for you? Like, what sticking points do you have within bookkeeping? And then maybe someone will reply, I hate receipt organization. And then maybe a different client or you can reply with a solution to that issue. You can also do training on there pretty easily, either on Instagram or Facebook, and host live Q&As. I really appreciate you watching all the way till the end, and I hope you have a great week. I'll talk to you next time.